The Quant token is finally breaking out here, making a nice move to the upside, currently sitting at $115. And I believe this is happening for both a fundamental reason as well as a technical reason. So we did actually see some news from the Bank for International Settlements, who the Quant CEO did in fact confirm they are working with on a central bank digital currency platform. And from a technical perspective, we did actually talk about this nice breakout here after a bounce at the $85 area of support, which we did talk about on both the channel and our Twitter page. You can expect to hear about all of this news as well as what I am looking for from the QNT token moving forward in today's episode of the Everything Crypto Show. Now, before we hop into the content, just a friendly reminder that I am not a financial advisor, nor do I offer any sort of financial advice on YouTube. I am simply here for your crypto news and entertainment purposes. And if you do find these videos informative and or entertaining, please consider hitting that sub and like button and turning the notification bell on so you can be notified when all of my latest videos go live. So we're going to hop right in with the Quant news today, as it has seen a nice move here, looking like it wants to retest that $116 area and potentially even break above these highs it made earlier in the month at $120, which definitely could lead to a nice move to the upside. So I want to talk about it from two different angles. We're going to talk about the fundamentals first, but if you have been with the channel for a while, you know that we were talking about a bounce from the $85 zone a while back. Even when it was at $100, we were talking about that dip down to 85. A lot of people did not think it was going to happen because 100 has historically proven to be a very strong area of support. But there was a lot of confluence here on a few different indicators that did lead me to believe $85 was coming. And from that area, we did actually see a nice bounce. Okay, so this is the chart that we posted on Twitter back in early December. This was a tweet back from August 18th when Quant actually flash crashed down to $85. Only on KuCoin. I didn't see this on many other exchanges. And we basically just saw it snap back there right back up to $100. So, that $85 zone definitely did prove to be a very nice buying opportunity for those who did take it. And we're going to break down kind of what I'm looking for when it does come to Quant next year, as in my opinion, this is still one of the cleanest charts pretty much of any altcoin that I've seen. So we're going to talk about the news first. And for those of you that have not really looked into Quant too much, if it's kind of just on your radar now as it is beginning to move to the upside, Quant is not a layer 1 token. It is not a layer 2 token. It doesn't power any blockchain. Quant is a utility token, and the utility it serves is actually being the native token of the Quant overledger, which is basically its own distributed ledger technology. So here is the actual web page on the Quant Network's website that breaks down what the Quant overledger can do. And first of all, it allows you to tokenize or create digital assets without holding crypto on the front end, as the Quant Network actually handles all of that using fungible and non-fungible tokens and for multi-chain deployment. This is a big one right here because the Quant overledger does actually basically allow people to build and tokenize different assets and different currencies and then connect these tokenized currencies and assets to multiple different blockchains. Beyond that, it does also allow developers and institutions to build multi-chain applications with multi-language interoperable APIs for fast and easy launches. It offers very nice control as you can integrate with their APIs for a clear view of assets with industry standard for interoperable APIs for complete control over your assets, and then allows you to transfer your assets to new ecosystems with secure bridging technology for real interoperability with confidence. So interoperability is just the start. With this platform, you can actually issue and tokenize assets on any chain. And the most common one that we speak about, and I think the first use case that will come from tokenizing assets, the most obvious one anyways, is taking physical cash and actually tokenizing it on the blockchain. But you can do other things with it, like carbon credits, even like supply chain monitoring. And you can see here that with Overledger bridges, you can easily connect to other chains. So we're going to actually go ahead and see where these are the chains that they do support at the moment. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hyperledger Besu, XRP, Polygon, Polkadot, XDC, Hyperledger Fabric, and Avalanche. So for developers building on the Quant Overledger, you can actually tokenize assets on any of these blockchains and build these multi-chain applications. And we're looking at some of the biggest blockchains in the industry, like ETH, Bitcoin, Polygon, Avalanche, and Polkadot, XRP, XTC. They do have some respectable size as well. So Quant definitely picking some of the key blockchains. I would like to see them add Solana, BNB chain in the near future, as obviously those are two of the biggest chains out there right now. And yeah, you can see that this technology definitely has caught the interest of some very big players. Okay, so just kind of baseline, the Quant token is what powers the Quant Overledger, which does allow for this tokenization and interoperability. And we can take a look here at some of the partners they do have. This includes LAC Chain. This is a consortium of 17 different countries in Latin America who have basically been using the Quant Overledger for cross-border payments. Oracle, who actually use the Quant Overledger for their interoperability solution for their Oracle blockchain platform. Oracle is one of the largest cloud companies in the world. And then we have Nexi Group here. This is the largest digital payment provider in Europe, and they are also partnered up with Quant. UST works with tokenization on some of the biggest companies in the world. We're talking about Fortune 500 companies. So yeah, I mean, Quant definitely does have some very impressive partnerships, and that doesn't even really touch upon their work here on Project Rosalind. So we're going to get into Project Rosalind in a minute, but I think the kind of the most, I want to say like the use case that I think will be most relevant for Quant Overledger in the near future is the ability to build central bank digital currencies on this platform, distribute it across multiple blockchains, connect private and public blockchains. And right now, according to a survey from the Bank for International Settlements, 90% of surveyed central banks are exploring CBDCs. So this was a paper that was released a while back by the BIS. And they basically said that, out of 81 central banks that were surveyed, they were engaged in some form of CBDC work. And, over 90% are actually looking or engaged in providing some sort of CBDC work. So we know that a lot of banks are definitely looking to adopt this digital currency, as it does also help them. And, we obviously know that governments and banks only benefit from removing cash from the system and having money go completely digital. Obviously, it sucks for citizens, but that's what governments and banks want. And therefore, it's probably going to happen regardless, whether we want it or not. So the next real way to think about it is, how can we actually make money off of this? And in my opinion, Quant is a way to do so. So we can actually see here that Quant did work with the Bank for International Settlements, with the Bank of England, and the Bank of Canada here on Project Rosalind, a project designing and implementing a CBDC API and platform, and testing use cases for CBDCs with financial services participants. And they also worked with other participants like the Bank of Canada, Barclays, MasterCard, and Amazon, all of who built and tested new CBDC payment flows on the platform. And I mean, Amazon, this is the biggest commerce company in the world. MasterCard is one of the biggest payment companies in the world, payment issuers. And to see them actually building and testing CBDC payment flows on the Quant Overledger platform is definitely a very good look for this company, in my opinion, and also for the QNT token, which I do want to hop into now because, we've spoken about the Quant Overledger, but the next kind of important question is, what does this have to do with the Quant token itself? If the Quant token is not relevant to the Quant Overledger, this doesn't really matter. And we can see here that basically the Quant token is used as a form of payment for Quant services, most notably as a way for Overledger users to pay their fees, as explained here. And I have seen, some screenshots of the Quant CEO Gilbert Verdian speaking in different Telegram channels, basically saying that for enterprises who want to actually purchase a license for the Quant Overledger, they do also have the option to pay in fiat. And he says that then the Quant team actually buys an equivalent amount of Quant token if these other customers do pay in fiat. pay in fiat. So basically, even if these customers don't want to directly engage with crypto and buy Quant and lock it up, they can pay in regular dollars, and then the Quant company says that on the back end they purchase those tokens and hold it for them. So here's some of the use cases we can actually see for the Quant utility token. This is kind of like an infographic here, which makes it a lot cleaner. So enterprise licenses, developer licenses, platform fees, transaction processing. So QNT tokens are used to validate, sign, and encrypt every transaction that flows through the Overledger, and no transaction can flow through Overledger without being securely validated by Quant tokens. So effectively, increased adoption of the Quant Overledger does equate to increased demand for the Quant token itself. And on the supply side of things, Quant is definitely one of the more scarce tokens out there. Okay, we're actually above 160 now, so still moving up even as we record. It comes in here with a 14.8 mil total supply. So we got something like Bitcoin with 21 mil in supply. And I'm not comparing them because obviously those are two very different projects. Bitcoin is Bitcoin is the only decentralized cryptocurrency, whereas Quant is actually incredibly centralized, and that's the point. But on the supply side of things, Bitcoin's got 21 mil, over 90% in circulation, and Quant has 14.8 mil with over 90% in circulation. So essentially, there is about 33% less Quant than there is Bitcoin. So I do kind of want to show you guys our tweets now here, and I kind of look at it from a technical perspective now that we have covered things from a fundamental perspective. So here is the tweet we made back on December 8th. I said, Quant has one of the cleanest setups out there right now, IMO, respecting its uptrend since 2021 while also breaking out of its downtrend that began with the 2021 peak, shaking out weak hands and impatient traders chasing other alts. Looks prime for a breakout to me. And Quant did go through this period of shuffling sideways, and we did see a lot of people that said they were Quant bulls and that they were holding, basically capitulate and sell their bags to chase some other altcoins out there. And we have seen this before with Quant. I'm sure we'll see it again. But if we actually zoom out here and take a look at the chart, it pretty much remained perfectly intact this entire time. So this is the chart here, and we're looking at Quant weekly candles on a log scale. And what you're going to notice is that if we take a look at the uptrending channel that kind of began with its first run here in 2021, as well as the downtrending channel that began at the peak of its 2021 price action when it basically ran from $30 all the way up to about $428. It moved just under 1,300% from May to September of that year. And in this time period, it's important to note, right? Like at this point, Bitcoin had already basically like over 15x from the 2020 lows up to like 60,000. Meanwhile, Quant just kind of shuffled sideways here. Everything crashed 50% in the summer of that year. Quant continued to move sideways, and then boom, kind of lagging behind the rest of the market there. But when Quant did see a move, it moved fast, okay, with that nice move to the upside. Then in 2020, we saw Quant once again bounce off of this uptrending channel at the $42 zone, which if we actually take a look at my Twitter, you can see here that we started talking about this project very heavily in and around that time when we actually saw it hit these this kind of like mid double-digit territory here. We did showcase kind of like one of the first videos we made talking about Quant. This was back in May of 2022, and Quant did bottom in June more or less when we were like very heavily covering it. And we bounced off that uptrending channel again and then made a nice run that year in the middle of a bear market from $42 all the way up to $228. And once again, though, actually getting rejected at that downtrending channel. Then you can see here, even in the new year, once again, just getting rejected multiple times at that downtrending channel. Now, when we actually saw Quant bounce off of $85 here back in mid-October, it once again respected the uptrend. Now we have actually seen it break above this downtrending channel. It is currently above the bull market support band as well. And that's why I said I do think that Quant looks like a very clean setup to me at the moment. I mean, if we take a look at the past year, it does look like basically a downtrend from the beginning of the year after a nice run. A lot of sideways shuffling at that $100 zone. But when you actually zoom out, you're going to notice that Quant does tend to go on these big periods of consolidation. And then boom, it likes to go on these nice monster rallies. So we just went through a nice period of consolidation. And what I'm really looking for now is just to see if Quant can extend that rally. We topped out earlier in the year at about 160. So really kind of eyeing that level to see how Quant does react when it gets up to that zone. So on that note, I hope you did enjoy the content in today's video. I hope you all stay happy, safe, and healthy, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Happy holidays, everyone, and peace out for now.